Hey everyone.
Hi guys.
It is Monday, not Sunday.
It's Monday.
Yeah.
I was sick. I'm sorry, you guys. I had a really bad fever.
It's your fault.
It is my fault.
I was gonna say it's not your fault.
No,
but
it's
your fault.
definitely my fault.
So we are here to talk about the season finale, episode 15.
What was it called? Will you take my hand?
Will you take my hand?
Will you take my hand?
I would ask you, but you were sick, so
Yeah, no, you don't.
no.
It was almost hospital-worthy fever. I was like, for an
Ooh.
hour, I was on hospital watch, and then I was like, nah, I think I'm good. Don't take me.
So you needed bones. So we weren't here last week. The Super Bowl
Yeah, the Super Bowl fucked us up.
kind of screwed us over a little bit. I mean, that was kind of a purposeful choice
Yeah,
and not a
I had
purposeful
fun.
choice.
It was
but yeah,
fun.
we had fun anyway. Hey guys, in the chat we have David Maltby and Jalen
Jalen.
Lover. Hey guys, and there was someone else in here a little while ago. I don't know if
They
they're still
left.
here
They
or
got tired of
War
waiting
Shark,
for us.
But if you're here, hello to you as well.
My computer is completely frozen right now. I can't see anything.
Well,
Whatever.
We're good. We're good. We're good. So before we get into episode 15, why don't you summarize last week's episode a little bit
Episode
for us?
14?
And where we were.
Why don't I? Because my computer's frozen and I can't read my notes. No, I'm
Oh.
kidding. So the first thing about episode 14 is the first line of that episode was about eating the goddamn Kelpians.
Yeah.
I wanted that plot point to go away, and it wouldn't go away.
Well, it came back up this week too, didn't it?
Did it? Maybe.
wasn't that this
Possibly.
week's
Yeah.
episode? I watched them back to back. So.
Yeah, I did too. So that's why I'm like kind of fuzzy about what
Yeah.
happened when. They come back. They're eating the Kelpians. Georgiou, fake Georgiou, Mirror Georgiou is now on our Discovery. We did find out that the Mirror Discovery basically exploded on impact when they
Right.
switched
Yeah.
places.
It came back in. It was destroyed. So now we know why we didn't get an episode about.
Yeah,
what-
exactly what happened with Mirror Discovery in
was
our
doing.
universe. Basically, they make a deal. The Admiral and Sarek make a deal with Georgiou to end this Klingon war for them, which is what we predicted would happen.
Right. So we kind of saw that in the preview for that week's
Yeah.
episode anyway.
And they removed all of Voq from Ash. Ash is dealing with the aftermath
Right.
of that.
And let me say that I was right. So all of
Yeah.
you people out there who were
Yeah.
saying that I was wrong
about
and
how the
that
science worked.
No, they put Voq's psyche on top of Ash.
And there was literally a throwaway line where they're like, we don't understand the science about how this works, so they don't have to explain how it works.
Right, yeah, which I mean I'm fine with that.
Oh, yeah, no, me too.
But I'm just
We debated about this for
Yeah,
hours.
I'm taking my win with it was
So
it
does
was
that
always
make-
Ash and Voq was just put on top of
If
him.
we count it as us as a group, does that make PCR 3 Internet 2?
Yes.
Have we caught up?
Maybe?
Maybe.
So I don't know.
We were 1-1 for a while.
I'm sure there's a lot of other stuff that we were wrong about that we just didn't catch on to.
We were wrong all fucking season
Yeah,
about things.
but that's fine.
There's no way Ash is Voq.
I like being wrong because then like if my expectations
Yeah.
were met, then I'm like, oh well, that was predictable.
No.
So
Yeah. I like it when writers can outright me.
yes,
Honestly.
yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. Ash Voq is no more. It's just Ash.
However, Ash still
retains his
all
Voq
of
memories.
Voq's memories,
Yes.
which is interesting.
Yes, it was, and it became very interesting in episode
finale.
15.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
in episode 15. And Michael and Ash broke up, and I feel like that's the whole episode. Of episode
Right.
14,
Well, I mean,
right?
I feel like they broke up when he got pushed into space.
I feel like when he tried to strangle her,
Yeah.
that's generally where I would say they're broken up. But
I mean,
hey,
relationships, hey?
yeah, that was that episode, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, pretty much.
My
So
notes are completely frozen.
yeah, so coming into this episode, Mirror Georgiou is captain.
Yes.
And they're on their way to Kronos.
Kronos.
Or Kronos, however you want to pronounce
I
it.
say Kronos. Like,
Because the English version is Kronos, Kronos, but the Klingon is like Quonos or something like that. So it's
Clonos.
right, yeah.
Knowledge.
So, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Tui.
Tomato. Vash.
You say tomato, I say
Vash,
fuck you.
Vash. I would say Vash, but Vash was the that woman that Picard was dating.
Yeah,
that went
Vosh
off
is
with
somebody
Q.
else. Yeah.
Yeah. No. He David in
Oh,
the
okay.
chat is like
I
a
see it.
mashup of Voq and
Voq and Ash.
Voq
Vosh.
and Ash. Yeah.
Vosh. Ashk.
Vosh?
I don't know. I got nothing.
Ashk.
I will.
Nah.
Were you?
I hate those names.
How did you feel about this episode? Were you like whelmed? Were you underwhelmed? Were you perfectly whelmed?
It went up and down. So there were points in time in this episode where I was like, oh, this is what they're doing, and then immediately afterward, I was like, oh, okay, I kind of get that.
There were beats that I really appreciated. Like I really appreciated when Sarek was talking to Michael in episode 14 about her emotions and about being human.
Yeah,
I thought that was a really good like emotional 1-2 punch there. But I mean, I've said this from the jump. I was never a fan of this love story line.
Oh, but
between Ash and Burnham, I didn't like it. I didn't think it was necessary.
I was reading some reviews online, and a lot of them were saying that was a low point for them too. Was that it was because it just happened so quickly because of their similarities and what was going on with their psyches, but they never.
It didn't. They never really explored,
right? Which we kind of found out in this that they really never got to know each other that well.
But then they still stressed how in love they were,
right?
And the whole breakup thing was just kind of like, well, we've got to end this storyline somehow. So fuck it, we're breaking up. Like, it didn't. To me, it never felt really developed or thought out.
Right, right. But I mean,
and it felt unnecessary.
Ash didn't want to break up either, though. Like he was still like, I realized that what I did was really shitty, but I need you.
But
I mean, that kind of makes sense too.
Pain.
I mean, he's an emotional wreck at the moment.
I have man pain, and I need you to fix it.
I mean, he needs someone to fix it.
But so David says he thinks the love story will develop next season. Do you think Ash Volk will be back next season?
Maybe, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see where they go next season.
He basically left in episode 15. He like peaced out with L'Rell.
Right. He left to go and try to help the Klingon Empire not rebuild because they don't need to rebuild, but to find their way.
Mush together.
Yeah. To coalesce into
a
united Klingon front. the UKF. I don't know.
That doesn't sound right.
The UKF. It sounds
Klingon.
It.
It does sound Klingon. I don't like it. He whatever Georgiou had said to him about how he couldn't help either side, or he didn't belong with the Klingons, but he also didn't belong with the Federation. But maybe he could help both of them.
Right. That kind of can't. I mean, that was kind of his thing, where he was like, I can't help you and I can't help them, but maybe I can bridge the gap between the two.
Yes, yeah. So,
and I agree. I mean, that's gonna be interesting.
It left the door open for him to come back. Yeah. Which is, now that I'm thinking about it, it did leave the door open for him to come back.
And they also kind of left the door open for some canon to be built in there because we found out through some exposition that he was the first
of this scientific
thing, but that doesn't mean that he was the only one. Mm-hmm. So there's potential that they could have been, like, while this war was going on, they were making a bunch of
hybrids,
right?
And that's why they look different.
And that could be who shows up on the original series.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's like, I felt like they did a lot in this episode to quell the people who are like, you guys are breaking canon.
Yeah. I think there was a lot of that happening it felt, I don't necessarily want to call it fan service because I would not consider those people fans, but there was
they're extremist fans.
Yeah, well, they're extremist fans of Star Trek, not of this season.
Right.
Or this series, yeah. So yeah, maybe it was fan service.
Right. David says, "Oh my god, I never thought of that. What did you
not think of?
I was on a different screen, so I'm not sure when you said that.
I didn't see it either. Shazad Latif is a very great actor.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is really good. Like, it was really interesting seeing him on the planet of Kronos.
I liked that whole, like, 20 minutes or so of them on Kronos. I liked everything about it.
Let's talk about that for a minute, because we can just jump. Yeah. I mean, we can jump around. Like, no one's gonna care.
Nobody's gonna care. Leave it in the comments if you do care.
So, backing up just a little bit from them going to Kronos.
Yes.
Just to kind of lead us in there. They decide that they're going to.
Georgiou was going to lead them on a land mission to. She says help them win this war.
Right, right.
We
yeah,
find out
they had
they're going to drop a drone.
Right.
Stuff.
What did you think about their costumes? when they walked out through that door? Like, to me, that whole thing should have been like this was
so much fun.
This was one of those moments for me where it was like rolling my eyes. I was like, really?
It was
like
very original series to me. Like TOS,
I enjoyed it.
Go on some stupid
but I mean,
mission,
look at this. Like the doors open and they come walking out. The only thing that was missing was slow motion and like their hair and like
they
hair.
They needed a wind machine, but to me it was very TOS when they'd go on these ridiculous missions on TOS, and next thing you know, Kurt's got on like a hula skirt or something.
Right. And like they're all like dressed in leather. They're going to like.
I loved it.
It was like after that scene, I was like, okay, this is great.
I love that Georgiou wanted to bring Tilly on this land mission.
Yeah. Oh, her conversation with Tilly there was great too.
She knew that there was a captain or a Tilly on this vessel,
right?
And she's familiar with Captain Killy from Mirror Universe,
right?
So she expects her to be this badass, and then she gets our Tilly, who's just got her perm and is freaking out about everything.
Right, but like that moment where they call Tilly in, and Tilly at this point still thought that this was the original Georgiou, that she didn't die. So she's talking, and then Georgiou is like, "Oh, seeing you just reminds me of the days when we
killed that guy.
We were like squashing the Betazoids and doing all this other stuff."
And that's what they both realized.
And then all of a sudden, Tilly is just like, "Oh, this isn't the real.
This is the
other
one. Fake one."
And just her face in that moment was great.
And Georgiou looked so disappointed when she realized what this universe's Tilly acted like.
It was
just such disappointment.
I mean, I would kind of like to see an episode about Georgiou just going around this universe.
Hanging out with this Tilly.
Not even just hanging out with Tilly, just like going around our universe and being disappointed. Like
everyone and everything.
Like going and trying to find places that she really enjoyed having fun at in the Mirror Universe, and finding out that they're just completely different and like so sad compared to what she's used to. But so
Malby brings up, David brought up how Tilly got super high when they were on Kronos.
Oh yeah. Which there was a cameo in that scene too. I don't know if you noticed this or not. I
didn't catch it.
So let me pull this up here. So yeah, so she got high off of volcanic ash.
Which actually played into a plot point.
Right. Because up until this point, they thought that these volcanoes were inert. They didn't realize that they were active, which is when Tilly got the idea to look inside that case.
Yes.
Which I'll pull that up in a second too. But here we have the cameo.
Who is that? Because I noticed him.
So this guy here. He's been in Star Trek a few times.
Okay.
His original appearance was when he was about 7 years old. This is Clint Howard.
Okay.
He is Ron Howard's brother.
Ah.
He's been in a lot of weird stuff. But so I don't remember the name of the episode in the original series that he was in.
Yeah.
I probably should have looked that up earlier. But he was like this little alien boy that was all like green and everything. I mean, here he's still kind of green because he's Orion. But he had like powers that he was able to control things, and he trapped the Enterprise and something. So this is like the first actual like cameo that I remember seeing in the series.
Yeah, no, it is the first cameo that we've had.
Yeah,
they've done cute shout outs and call outs.
Right, but I don't remember seeing anyone specific. See, David knows who that is.
Ah, David. Hey, Ryan. We're a whole day late. You don't have to be sorry about being late.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Day late, dollar short. So after Tilly wakes up from being high, which was great. Which,
by the way, the only reason Tilly got high is because we find out that Georgiou is like queer AF and goes to have a threesome
with the Orion slaves.
Totally made my day, by the way. I text my friends about it. Yo!
That was kind of a great scene too.
I don't know if you've seen this episode yet, but Georgiou was queer.
She's like, nah, she's not for you.
Yeah. Because it happened. Okay. Too much information about me, but as a queer person, I get very excited about bisexual representation in TV. So I was just sitting there and I was like, she's getting both of them. Is she gonna? Yeah, she did it. Yeah.
Well, and initially I thought this was going to be just some weird like side thing, like, oh well, she's just going to get some while everyone else goes and kind of does their job.
Oh no, it turns out that she was like,
but then
evil.
Then this happens.
Yeah, exactly. She got some and then she like kills them for her own purposes. Well,
she didn't kill them. She was just like, all right, tell me where the shrine is.
Tell me where the shrine is.
Whereas
first, let me have some fun, and now tell me where the shrine is.
Whereas what Ash and Michael were like, all right, let's see if we can
bribe our way to the shrine.
Yeah, just make get people to tell us of their own free will.
Tell us.
And that we know that her method is just not.
It's more fun
not
though.
the same at all. So this whole how did you feel about this whole plot though for what they thought was going to map the inner canals, the volcanic tunnels, but Starfleet actually agreed to blow up the planet?
I have lots of feelings about it, and my first feeling is oh, hey, character growth, smash me in the face with it, because the whole deal is that basically they were going to commit Klingon genocide.
Right.
And Burnham talks them out of it, which at the, to parallel the very first episode, Burnham starts this whole war.
Right.
So it was very hey, we're going to show you how much Burnham has grown as a character right now.
But this also goes into, I know a lot of people were complaining about the series from the beginning about how, these aren't Star Trek ideals. This isn't, and we know, okay, this was this version of Lorca was from the Mirror Universe, so that explained that. Yes. So that's.
And there were, I did read people complaining about this episode too, saying that it wasn't very Starfleet. My rebuttal to that is that Starfleet is still growing as an organization. When we see them in TOS, when we see them in Deep Space Nine, when we see them in these other series that we're very much used to.
Four races that are in the Federation at this point?
Exactly. When we see them in these other series that we've grown up with, that we're used to at this point, they've been a long-established organization. And so, to me, it's unfair when people are like, oh, this isn't the Starfleet that we know, or blah, blah, blah.
But not only that.
No, it's not the Starfleet we know. They're still growing as an organization.
But, my rebuttal to that throughout the entire first season of this has been look at the Next Generation.
Yeah.
Look at some of the people from Starfleet that Picard went up against. So it's look, this is not right. Yeah. You should not be doing this. This is not how Starfleet is. And his moral sensibilities always won out, but you still had those people in Starfleet that were doing these things that were not Starfleet like. In Star Trek Insurrection. These guys from Starfleet agreed to basically repopulate that entire planet so people could live longer. Again, not a very Starfleet thing to do. So,
thank you, Rob. The Corbinite maneuver was the
Corbinite maneuver. Yeah. Yes, that was it. So I never understood the people who were like, this isn't Starfleet, because you always had those shady people that were there in the background.
Exactly.
So for this, I was like, okay, that's not very Starfleet. But we know that's going to turn around and not actually happen. That something is going to prevail. And then Michael gives that great speech.
It was a great speech, though. It did. I felt like her character growth was a little ham-fisted in the way that they handled it.
Oh, absolutely.
But goddamn, that was a good speech, though.
Yeah. And just that again, this whole scene was another one where I was kind of rolling my eyes a little bit, because it was really
it's a little eye-rolly, it's a little cliched, but damn, it was still good.
Yeah, it was the whole I am Spartacus thing, because by the end of the scene, everyone was standing up and they were like, yeah.
What is that actor's name?
Which one?
I forget. Michael Burnham. I'm having a brain fart right now.
That's Sonequa Martin Green.
I wanted to call her Martin Sonequa Green, and I knew that was wrong.
Close.
At least I had all the names, just not the right order. She's a damn good actor.
Yeah, she's really good. I liked her. I stopped watching The Walking Dead before she was.
Oh yeah, they talk. I don't like The Walking Dead. They talk too much.
It
too much talking.
It got too slow for me. I just got bored.
Too much talking, not enough zombieing.
Yeah, I always liked her character on it though.
Yeah.
Before I stopped.
No, she acted her ass off in these 2 episodes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She was really good. And I'm looking forward to seeing more of her in it. I'm happy that she didn't become captain though.
Yeah, me too. Because we talked about this, I think maybe 3 episodes ago.
Yeah, I thought towards the end that might be something that was going to happen, and I thought
they might have made it Saru.
I was thinking that could have been him.
I didn't want any of our crew that we currently know to be captain.
You want someone new.
Yeah.
So why do you want someone new instead of someone that we've got?
I want someone new because I want to see how this new character influences this ship.
And how they're different. How they're
different, how they're going to captain this ship, because we haven't really seen this crew with we've seen them with Lorca, who wasn't their captain.
Right. My kind of issue with that is I'm concerned that going into this next season, that the first few episodes are going to be, oh, we're gonna butt heads. We're gonna, like we're not gonna get along.
We hate our new stepdad.
Right, and that's.
But my stepdad's not mean. He's just adjusting.
What?
You've never seen Death to Smoochie?
Oh, it's been so long.
That's one of my favorite movies.
It is good. But like I couldn't tell you anything about that movie except that I thought it was really funny.
You should go back and watch it again. It's great.
I should.
Anyway, back on topic.
But yeah. Like I just don't want, like, obviously there's going to have to be a period for adjustment. I don't want it to be, like these ham-fisted episodes that are all just, well, we have to get along because Starfleet, but I don't like you and what you're doing because this is different.
Rorschach just said making her captain would have been an easy cop-out, and I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree too.
It would have been an easy cop-out, and it wouldn't have felt true to the character, honestly.
Right.
What they did with her character, bringing her this far along, making it her the voice of reason in the last episode, pardoning her.
Right.
All of that felt natural and correct.
Going back, fuck you, canon trolls. They fixed canon right there. So for those of you who are like, well, Spock said there's no record of there ever being a mutiny. Well, now there isn't because it's been expunged. So her record's been cleaned. It's gone. It's done.
Yeah, no. All of that felt fitting. Making her captain would have felt like a big jump, an undeserved jump.
Yeah, I agree. Are you happy about her getting her commission back?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think it was apt. I think it was accurate.
Yeah.
I think that with her, I am Spartacus speech and the how she stood up and the way that she stood up, I think it made people realize, like, she wasn't a mutineer, I think that they had this picture of, oh, she's a mutineer and she did this and she did that and blah, blah, blah. We're like, nah, she's not a mutineer. She's just doing what she thought was right the whole time.
Right. Yeah. She was stuck in the unfortunate position of being not in her, I don't want to say not in her right mind, but doing something that she thought was right, even though
she did it the wrong way. She did the right thing the wrong way.
And and something that you guys are going to be talking about, I'm sure, on the Marvel show later. Agreeing with someone's cause, but not necessarily agreeing with the way they're
bingo
pursuing.
Yeah, not the way that they're pursuing said cause. Yeah. I got you. I feel you.
And that's kind of what happened with Michael. Like I feel like everyone agreed with what she was doing.
She just didn't do it the right way.
She just didn't go about doing it the right way. And that's actually something that, like, now with her being reaccepted, like, that actually, I don't want to say paralleled, but earlier in the episode when Ash came back out and he was having lunch with people.
Yeah.
Or he sat. I think actually that wasn't this episode. That was last episode, right?
It was episode 14, episode 15.
I think that was episode 14, whichever episode it was. But
it did parallel when Burnham, her first episodes, when she was going to have lunch and nobody wanted to sit with her, and then Tilly sat with her, and then again, Ash comes back and nobody wants to sit with him, and then Tilly, she sits with them, and then eventually other people do too.
Right? Yeah. Which I thought was great. And then this moment with Sarek too, when she's getting her commission back. I thought that was
so sweet when Sarek was like, "Oh, I wanted to be the one to tell you."
Yeah. Well, and
Mr. I don't have feelings. Look at you emoting.
Well, and you can kind of see him doing that. Like you kind of saw this swell up in his, in his throat where he's like, I'm getting a little emotional. And there was the moment with her mom too.
Yeah, I loved that. I love that speech with her mom, and then they said they're going to hang out in Paris. And
and well, she was going to hang out in Paris for a few days while he rode with them on the Discovery back.
Yes, to go get their new captain.
Which also gave us a scene that kind of course corrected canon a little bit as well.
Yes.
Again. Which I mean, I'm a little disappointed that they shoved all that into this episode.
There was this lot that got shoved into the very end.
There was a lot that got shoved into the very end, and I think they could have spent another season, use the spore drive for another season.
Yeah.
Like, do whatever, because we have 10 years before TOS, so that gives them plenty of time to fix the stuff that I don't want to say the stuff that they broke, but that gives them time to flesh out additional stories and change things accordingly to make them fit with the canon that exists.
Jumping backwards really quick, how did you feel about L'Rell's final moments of this episode. Not that she died final moment, but like the last things that she did.
With her down with her talking to the Klingons, or with her down in the thing.
With her down in the thing, like, well, either we unite as one Klingon nation, or fuck you, I'll blow us all up.
I mean, that was kind of great. Like, she's holding that device, and she's like, look, I can screw you guys all up.
Or we can all work together. What do you think?
I mean, I thought that was great. It was a good moment for her. I don't like, though, that they ended the conflict with the Klingons so quickly and so easily.
It happened very quickly. That was my one
again,
thing. Like, they could have stretched this war out a little bit.
It seemed like a Deus Ex Machina. Yeah. Like, even though it wasn't like there. I mean, we've had 15 episodes, but this just kind of, it was like, oh, hey, look,
really fast.
We've got this bomb now, and all of a sudden it's, we will be one again.
Yeah.
Like,
or I'll blow us up.
Yeah. I wish it didn't have to be that quick. Like, we could have gone another half season with that, and like seeing them doing like some treaties or like I mean I'm sure it's not going to be
that's not the last we saw the Klingons.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be this easy.
Yes.
Like, they're probably still going to come into conflicts.
Oh yeah.
But it just seemed a little.
It was a little copy-outy.
Yeah.
Rourke does ask tire realistic.
Sorry guys.
Episodes before. What did you do?
The XSplit being weird.
Damn it.
I don't like XSplit anymore.
Did I find it realistic? I said it earlier in the episode. I felt like their relationship was not very fleshed out at all, ever. So no, it wasn't realistic to me. But I don't think their relationship in general has been realistic.
Yeah. It almost, to me, it almost felt like, hey, here's a character and here's another character that we think should get together because plot.
Here's a single male and a single female. Let's make them be romantic. That's not how life works.
Yeah, but it wasn't even that for me. It was just like, here's two interesting characters that you guys should care about, and we're going to make them get together because that's going to make stuff.
Yeah, right? Like, it didn't, there was no growth for me in that relationship. It just didn't, none of it felt real, so.
Yeah, so Rob Biller says that he's glad that we liked the finale for the most part, but he didn't. He didn't agree with a lot, but I suppose that's all part of fandom. So Rob, what weren't you a fan of? Because like I said, there was a lot here that I felt was like we said, packed in. There was a lot going into it. It was just too much going on for a single episode. Like, if this had been spread out, if this last episode had been spread out over 2 episodes, I think I would have been a little bit happier. I did not like the episode. I like this for me, as far as a finale would go, I like rating it, if I had to, I would say it would be like a 3.5.
Yeah.
So somewhere in the middle. Like, it wasn't.
It was mediocre.
Yeah. There were some moments in it that were really, really good, but there were also some moments in it where it was like,
as annoyed as I get with D&D from Game of Thrones, I do feel like some writers could really learn pacing from them.
Yeah,
because they do pace the shit out of their episodes.
Right.
So,
speaking about Game of Thrones though, I thought the ending was kind of Game of
Thronesy.
It was, because there wasn't. I mean, there was a cliffhanger there, but there also wasn't a really big cliffhanger. Like, we don't know what's going on. Like, we know.
We have something to look forward to.
Yeah. It was like,
it's not a Who Shot JR where we're gonna be sitting on the edge of our seats, pining for this.
Right. Yeah.
The year and a half until it comes back. But
if it's a year and a half, like, I don't know how long it's actually going to be.
I want to say January of next year, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely 2019.
Yes.
Not this year. I don't know if we have an actual date yet. But I mean, also, like, this moment was it was fan service.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
yeah.
This was total fan service when it's like, oh, it's Captain Pike. Captain Pike. That means that's the Enterprise.
Captain Pike on the Enterprise.
And then you start hearing the original TOS theme song.
Yeah. I mean, it was still exciting though. It was fan service, but I got excited.
Yeah, because I mean, how could you not?
How could you not?
It's just one of those things where it's like, here's this thing that's happening, and it's like, okay, well, now this is how you're getting people to stay for next season. Is you're like, well, we're gonna bring in the Enterprise, and we're gonna bring in Pike,
and we're gonna tease out Pike.
So I'm gonna have to look this up too, but I don't remember if Spock was on the Enterprise at this time or not.
I don't believe so.
because I know he did serve under Pike.
Yes.
But obviously before serving under Kirk. But I don't know how long he was on.
I don't think he was on that long before, but I could be wrong. Other things that happened towards the end of the episode. So Burnham got pardoned for everything. Tilly gets to go to captain school.
Well, not really captain. Not really captain school.
Not captain school.
She command training.
Yes, training.
She's moved up from a cadet.
Yes.
Or an ensign or whatever it was that she was.
She gets to go to
Okay, so she's going into command training, so she can start moving up the chain. But everyone, it was like the Star Wars, like the end. It was the end of A New Hope. Like it was like everyone standing there.
I was trying to figure out what it reminded me of, and I couldn't pull it up for whatever reason.
They all had their medals on, and I mean, there was no Wookiee there.
Burnham's giving another speech. Her mom is crying.
Yeah,
we found out how Burnham's parents died. Her biological
parents. Well, we knew that. I mean, we didn't know
they died.
We didn't know exactly.
We found out in detail.
Yeah, we knew that the Klingons attacked the base that her parents were on and that they were killed. But we didn't.
No, we found out in detail.
Yeah, the whole thing about them being like, oh yeah, killing my father was quick.
Yeah.
Killing my mother was not. And then they ate my dinner. I mean, that's kind of fucked.
That's real fucked up, dude.
I mean, that's.
Yeah.
So Rorschach is saying that Robert T. April was before Pike on the Enterprise. He's never seen on TOS though. But Robert April was the captain before Pike on Enterprise, I believe, not the first officer or the science officer. Spock was under Pike because he was there for the menagerie and the cage.
Exactly. But that doesn't. There's not really a strict timeline.
Yeah. I don't know where or when. Ryan Earl Thomas is asking about Chris Violet. If I remember that name correctly, I believe that's the guy for. I think he's a Power Ranger.
I want to say yeah.
He was in the first couple of episodes, and I don't remember if he died or if he just disappeared. Like
I think he
like
just
the little sister
disappeared,
from
like Judy.
Went up to his room to play and never came back out. I don't
first
remember.
Darren.
Yeah. Well, the first Darren left because of a health problem.
Oh yeah, no, I know, but it's just there are some of those things that I just think are really funny, like Judy, the first Darren. There are a couple shows that have done Happy Days.
Yeah. Brady Bunch. Like Cousin Oliver.
Yeah. Cousin Oliver was a dick.
With Ron Howard on Happy Days.
Yeah.
Who is related to Clinton Howard that was in this episode.
And there you go. Now we're bringing it back around. I'm not just talking about
3 degrees
shit.
of whatever. So now that the season's over. Like, because we really don't have any questions left to answer.
Give me your season rating overall, because that's how do you feel
overall? Honestly, I would say that this is probably one of the best first seasons of Star Trek series.
Yes. I think that there are a lot of other Star Trek series where you could skip like the first 11 episodes and not miss anything. Yeah,
absolutely. It's funny. I just watched on Netflix. There's a documentary that William Shatner made about Next Generation, and all of the problems that were going on behind the scenes with that, and like the first season. And everyone knows that the first season of that show was horrible.
It's terrible.
Apparently, they went through like 40 different writers in the first season of that show. So people who are like complaining, oh well, Brian Fuller originally, started out in this episode, started the series, and then they fired him as showrunner. He left as showrunner, so now we're in the hands of different people. Well, at least there's not 30 different people.
Right? It could be a lot worse.
Yeah.
I wonder how much Brian Fuller influence was still available.
I don't know. Well, I think he influenced the direction of the show.
Yeah.
But I don't know how far into it he went.
I really enjoy him as a director, showrunner.
Yeah, I think he's one of those interesting guys who I think he has a lot of good ideas, and I think like the shows that he creates are really interesting. Like I liked Dead Like Me. I enjoyed Pushing Daisies. Was great. And I liked his run on Heroes, but
I loved the pilot he did for the Monsters that never got picked up.
But he kind of comes and goes too.
Yeah, he's very flighty. I feel like he's kind of like J.J. Abrams-esque, which is funny because they both came out around the same time and they both worked on Star Trek projects. But J.J. Abrams' TV shows, they're good, and then he leaves and then they're not good.
Did he leave Alias?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Alias is my favorite television show of all time.
Never watched it.
I could run a whole show about Alias by myself.
Maybe we'll do a Throwback Thursday, but
Please, Please.
I never watched it.
Yeah, no. J.J. Abrams, he starts off great, and then he leaves, and like people don't know where he was going with the show, so they just try to keep going, and it's not as good. And then usually he comes back for the last season to clean up.
Lost was kind of. I mean,
Lost, that's what happened with Lost.
I mean, but he was only an executive producer on Lost though. Like Lost was all Cartland Cuse and
the guys who are on Once Upon a Time now.
Yeah, Kitsis and
Horowitz.
Horowitz, yeah,
they're terrible.
Well, Once Upon a Time is horrible. Like that.
It was great for a while. And it was horrible.
It was okay for a while. It was like it's like anyone who tells me that anything past the first half of the first season of Heroes was good. I'm like,
did you watch it? Were you there?
It was okay.
6 out of 6. What kind of rating scale is that, Ryan?
6 out of 6. I give this a solid 5 out of 7.
Right? What is right? Like what do we? Can we do a normal rating scale, you guys?
I'm gonna give this 13 out of 15.
What are we doing?
I don't know.
Out of 27, it's a solid 17.9. I'm like, what is this rating scale?
I don't know.
Okay, for me, whole series. I would
season
whole season. Out of 10, a normal number, I would give it a 7.
Yeah. I think I'd go 7.
There are a couple of episodes that felt filler-esque.
I might go with an 8 because an 8 at least is a B. 7 is kind of a C.
Oh, okay. I see you there. Then I'll give it an 8. Yeah. I'll give it an 8.
It's. I mean, one of the best episodes I think was a filler episode though. The time loop episode.
The time loop episode was probably the best episode.
That to me it
could be considered filler.
Yeah, because it really didn't progress anything other than the Michael Ash love
relationship, which at the end of when you get to the end of the season, you're like, well, that was useless.
Right. But I also like that.
But at the time, it was great.
I really like that this episode set up the exploration.
Yes, of time.
Yeah.
And it
like the exploring new worlds and new civilizations and all that kind of stuff. Like it seems like that's where we're going in the next season because at least they set that up to be where we're going in the next season.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Maybe we'll get more of these, like maybe not like a full season arc. Yes. But like I would be cool.
I would be cool if they went more episodic next season. I would.
I'd be cool with more episodic or like story arcs that went like 1 to 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Like give us a 2-parter here or a 3-parter there. Yeah. So like if we get another 15 episodes, give us like 5 mini story arcs with like one overall arc in it as well. What do we got going on in the chat?
We got a lot going on in the chat. Rorschach says he's willing to give the writers lots of wiggle room on the first season because Lorca's actor, what's his real name?
Jason Isaacs.
Jason Isaacs basically said that it was being written episode to episode.
Oh wow!
Which that
I missed
would
that,
actually I missed him saying that. I think it probably happened on the after track that we turned off, but that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah,
that would make a lot of sense, especially considering that's
got to be hard. That's got to be hard to do for a series that's not serialized like that.
And we were just saying that what's his face left.
Brian Fuller, yeah.
Brian Fuller left, so I'm sure.
But how do you write a non-episodic show that has a full season story arc episode by episode? That's got to be so hard.
It's probably you get a full outline saying this is where we've started this season and this is where the season is.
Right. Well, I mean, if they don't,
this is what happened last week.
I would be very, I don't want to say annoyed. That's the wrong word. Surprised. Yeah. If they don't have a series Bible for this show.
Yes.
But at least by this point.
They've got to.
Like I mean they're
dealing with the Star Trek canon, first of all. So you've got to have a Bible to just deal with the fact that you're dealing with Star Trek canon.
I can see them doing like maybe a Bible for the first 3 seasons. Like okay, we're gonna plot out the entire first season.
Yeah.
And if we get renewed, then we'll go and we'll extend past that. But at this point, like they need to have like the next 2 seasons plotted out already.
Geez Louise, dude.
So that they know where everyone's going.
I can't imagine going into a series that has as much lore as Star Trek does and not having a planned out destination.
Right? Like I mean that just seems insane.
It sounds very stressful.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you think Ryan's asking, do you think the season could be more than the 15 episodes that we got this season?
I actually I prefer shows that are about 12 to 15 episodes.
You know, it's interesting. So
22 episodes
Do you know who Joe Malozzi is, or Joseph Malozzi?
No.
You remember like Stargate SG-1?
Yeah.
So he was one of the executive producers behind that. More recently, he was doing Dark Matter on Sci-Fi.
Yeah. Good show.
Which I thought was a good show. I'm really disappointed that got canceled. But so I was sort of talking to him.
Yeah.
Just about lots of things while the campaign to get Dark Matter not uncanceled was going on. We were #show was trying to help out and like push that out a little bit. So I got to talk to him a little bit. But so we were, I asked him what it was like to go from doing a series like Stargate on regular syndicated cable TV that's 26 episodes a season or 22 episodes a season or whatever it happens to be, and then having to squash it down to be, you know, like a series that's only 12 or 13 episodes a season, because it would have to be easier to do a 12 to 13 episode season. But I like, for me, I was like, okay, if I'm used to making these series that are 26 episodes a season, like going from that mindset to, okay, now I only have half the amount of episodes to do that would be really hard to do. But he said that he loves it.
Yes.
That it's great because you don't have to do those stupid filler episodes.
Exactly.
It's just all story.
As a writer and as a viewer, I prefer a shorter season because you trim so much fat.
Right.
You know, and looking at, there are some shows that, like, this is a dumb example, but Gossip Girl, most of their seasons were like 22 to 26 episodes.
Right.
And at least 4 of those episodes were things that you absolutely didn't need.
Oh, yeah.
When you got to the end of the season, you're like, this is completely unnecessary. We didn't need this. So I much prefer watching a 12 to 13 episode season where you're just pound me with story, okay? That did not sound right.
That did not sound right.
That did not sound
right. But even,
right.
Was it Supernatural does the same thing. They're like 22, 23 episodes a season.
I don't want to talk about Supernatural.
Yeah,
it frustrates me so much.
I like it.
So frustrating.
I enjoy
Why
the
is
show.
it still on?
But it could be 10 episodes less.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it could be 10 seasons less. God damn it.
I like the show because I like the two main characters. I like the actors that play the two main characters. I like Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki. I just think they're fun.
They have a lot of chemistry together.
I like Mark Shepard.
Yeah.
I like the guy who's playing.
It's gone too far.
Satan. I can't remember his name. Mark Pellegrino. I think he's cool.
Too much. I say this as somebody who still watches Grey's Anatomy every week.
Sorry. Let's see. Rob Miller says, don't mean to be a downer, but the whole Ash Folk storyline didn't really go anywhere in the end. Didn't see the point. Episode to episode would make sense for the roller coaster season. I've been a fan for many years. I really want to like it more. I'm just frustrating and hoping you guys turn it around for me. Well, Rob, I hope I hope you'll give it a second chance going to the next season. I think that what they've set up in this finale going into the next season might, like we said, if they go a little bit more episodic, not as heavy-handed with everything, because again, as a first season, they had to set up so much stuff for this that
and I think they are learning from their mistakes as they go.
Yeah. Rorschach is asking, when will they heal Detmer 100%? Isn't she self-conscious about her implants and her look?
I like her.
Yeah, I mean,
it's kooky.
I would say they're probably not going to heal her.
Yeah, no.
Just because we don't know the extent of her damage. Like that's actually what I really want next season. Is I want more information on her.
I want more about Detmer.
I want more.
I want more about that android-looking character.
Yeah. I can never remember her name.
No, me either.
I have seen the actress out of that makeup though,
yeah.
and she is extremely attractive.
Really?
Yes.
I'm not surprised, but.
But I don't know. I don't know what she is.
I want to see more with the girl with the dreadlocks.
Oh yeah.
I want to see more of her.
I want to know what happened to that robot android-looking thing that was on the original Shenzhou that had like the weird like the TV
weird,
face.
Yeah.
Arim. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Arim. I got nothing.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm disappointed that's going to be a year or so before we have to.
That's my biggest disappointment. I think that we have to wait so long. This is like Westworld all over again.
Yeah, which is coming back soon. Westworld's coming back soon. So now, okay, so before
they healed Geordi's eyes, kind of. That's what I was thinking about right when he brought this conversation up. I was thinking about Geordi.
But they didn't heal him until Insurrection. And they didn't even really heal him there.
And it wasn't really healed.
Yeah, so they gave him ocular implants instead of having the visor because they were like, oh shit, the visor can be hacked.
Yeah.
So they were like, okay, we'll just give you eyes that do the same thing. And then it was the properties of the planet that they were on in Insurrection that actually like healed his eyes. And what we don't know, because I don't remember this from Nemesis, whether his eyes were still healed or whether he had the ocular implants in Nemesis or not. I don't remember. That movie was such garbage that I never really went back and watched it again, even though Tom Hardy was in it.
Yeah, no, I want to say it was still implants, but I don't know. That movie was terrible. And when I found out Tom Hardy was in it, I wanted to go back and watch it again because I'm obsessed with Tom Hardy, but I can't do it.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Anyway, so before we wrap out, now that this show is over, at least for a year. What are you going to fill? What other shows are coming up that you are interested in? What other shows are coming up that you guys are interested? Like now that are you guys going to be rewatching earlier episodes of Star Trek? Are you going to move on to a new show? I'm watching Altered Carbon for at least the next few weeks.
I'm trying to think. Westworld is coming back.
Yeah, Westworld is coming back.
So I'll be doing Westworld when that happens.
Don Juan wasn't a fan.
Not a fan at all.
Not a fan.
Wow. Strong opinions there, Don. I appreciate that in a person.
And you know what, though? Like, not liking it is okay.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, what pisses me off about people is ones who give, like, bullshit answers for why they don't like it. But if you don't like it just because you weren't a fan of it.
Yeah, and Don Juan's been here the whole time, so, like, you know.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's a very
valid
opinion. Sorry to see you go, since you probably won't be back for next season when we come back. Yeah, Westworld. Humans, I haven't started watching Humans yet. Preacher, I need to start watching. And Anna says a lot of anime. You know what I just found out today?
What did you find out today?
Sword Art Online 2. The dubbed version is now on Hulu.
Ooh.
And that has to be super recent because I remember trying to find that like 3 or 4 months ago and not being able to find the dubbed version anywhere. Because before you guys give me shit for watching dubbed and not subbed, I do a lot of work.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of work.
I don't have time to sit there and read a TV show, man.
Most of the times when I'm watching TV, unless it's things that I'm watching for the show like Star Trek and Altered Carbon and whatever it is that I'm watching, I'm usually doing other work, so I'm not always looking at the screen. Yeah, I just can't. I can't read it.
I'm gonna watch Big Little Lies. I know that's old and not really related to this channel at all, but it's on HBO and I haven't started it yet. I watched the first episode the other morning, and I had to leave to go to work.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, definitely Westworld. Definitely Ash versus the Evil Dead when that comes back in a couple of weeks.
You know what got canceled and I'm really upset about it? Blood Drive.
Oh, that got canceled?
Blood Drive got canceled. Blood Drive's officially been canceled. I liked it.
We almost did a show on that.
I liked it.
We almost did a show, and then it was on so late at night that we were like,
doesn't work.
Yeah. We would have been doing this live stream at like 12:30 a.m. So
yeah, no.
That wasn't a thing. The Expanse.
The Expanse.
I'm gonna see I'm gonna see what's going on with The Expanse. We might do an after show for The Expanse. We're going into the 3rd season though, so we'll have to see how that does. Are you going to do any more after shows? Ryan Thomas is asking, are you going to do any more after shows on THS or PCR? Do you mean tonight, Ryan, or just in general?
Right after this.
Yeah, in general, of course, we're gonna be
constantly
doing after shows. Yeah,
caffeine.
Yeah, Jordan.
Right after this.
Jordan will be back for Marvel, and then after that, we have a new horror show too.
Woo!
Hashtag horror picture show, which is now going to be on Pop Culture Renegade. So we've got a full night for you guys.
Yeah.
So I think that's gonna do it.
Yeah.
Rob Biller says that he'll be around for season 2, so we're excited to see when that comes back. If you are watching Altered Carbon, come back and watch me in that. This past week, I had Kelly and John from our Achievement Unlocked video game channel on.
Yeah.
Next week, I'm going to have a couple of other people on and more people for the finale. So where can we find you on the internet?
On the internet? Well, right after this, I'll be hosting the Marvel show.
Okay. What are you guys talking about?
We are talking about Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. And did we do that at the same time? Tony's off camera. We did it at the same time. So I got Marvel after this.
Right.
When Rick and Morty comes back, I'll be on Rick and Morty. When this comes back, I'll be on this. I don't know where else I'll be hanging out on this channel. I'll be somewhere on these channels. And then on the just plain old internet, you can find me at @lambertra.com. It's my last name, Lambert, with an extra RAA at the end.
All right, like I said, stay tuned to PCR because there's a bunch of stuff coming up after this. You can find me on Twitter at The Goldman. I don't really use Instagram, so you can find me tagged in pictures from all the other hashtaggers there. And you can find me on Mondays at typically like 3 o'clock, 3:30 on Altered Carbon for the next couple of weeks. And when this Throwback Thursday thing starts, I'll be doing that as well.
Oh, I'll probably be there too.
Yeah,
now I want to do
yeah. We're going to have a rotating cast on that, so it'll be fun. But until 20 minutes from now when the Marvel show starts, good night, folks.
Live long and prosper, guys.